Welcome, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Scott. I am the General Manager of Meridian Biosolutions. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about an important topic called senescence, okay? Senescence, from a cell perspective, is your cells just wearing out to a degree, okay? Your cells have sensed something wrong, whether it's DNA damage or they've replicated so many times that there's just not a lot of fidelity in how they transcribe the DNA. So what do? They shut down. Okay, that's cell senescence. Okay, by itself, it's a protective mechanism, but it does a couple things that can hurt you. Okay, and I want to bring those up to you because I think they're important. One, they continue to metabolize. They continue to respirate. Okay, so they're competing with your other healthy replicative type cells, which that's an important quality for a cell in a tissue, is its ability to replicate, because cells are dying, they're sloughing off for various reasons, they're eliminated by the immune system for various reasons. Uh, they need to be able to replicate to fill those voids. Senescent cells do not do that. At the same time, however, they are competing with those same cells for nutrients, other cell signaling molecules that may be around. So they're creating a competitive landscape, in a sense, with other healthy cells. The second thing they do, and perhaps the most important thing they do, because most often they shut down because something isn't quite right. So what they want to do is signal the immune system. That means they're secreting pro-inflammatory mediators. They want immune cells to move into the area, shake hands, and see if there's something wrong, see if we need to be destroyed, right? A lot of times those are various T cells or natural killer cells, but that's effectively what happens. So these cells can set up, these senescent cells, by doing that, can set up a microenvironment of some low-grade chronic inflammation. But if you have a lot of senescent cells in your tissues, that can lead to problems. That can greatly magnify the influence of that inflammation. So what do we want to do? So how do we get rid of these senescent cells? Because on one hand, they're trying to do something good, right? They are putting a pause on something. I mean, you might have a cancerous gene that gets transcribed and the cell recognizes that and stops. That's a good thing. But the pro-inflammatory environment that these cells create, the competition for nutrients and cell signaling molecules that regulate other cells, could also be a problem. So how do we manage our senescent cells? Because we don't want them to get to the volume where they're interfering with our physiology in a big way. So one thing you can do is look into senolytics. That's a class of compounds that essentially interfere with the biochemical pathways that maintain a cell in a senescent state. And by interfering with these pathways, they can push the cell into a pathway of cell, for lack of a better term, death. Okay? So what compounds do that? Well, I'm talking about Senolytic Activator today from Life Extension. Okay? And the key ingredients here are called quercetin and fisetin. Now, quercetin is a compound that largely targets senescent endothelial cells, so those cells in your blood vessels and your vasculature. So why is that important? Well, that's important because if those senescent cells in your blood vessels are taking up space, they're respirating, they're metabolizing, if they're secreting pro-inflammatory factors into that microenvironment, they can create a situation that sets you up for atherosclerotic plaques at that point. That's largely an inflammatory driven initiated process. Okay? Now, quercetin is not highly bioavailable, so you need relatively high concentrations. Now, to be fair, You don't need a supplement to get quercetin in your diet. You're probably getting it already. A lot of your leafy vegetables, things like broccoli, and I know apples are a really good source of quercetin, but you need quite a bit of it. So taking a supplement to get that quercetin might be an advantage to keep your endothelial cells free from excess senescent cells. Secondly, fisetin, which is a much more powerful senolytic than is quercetin. It's more bioavailable than quercetin is, just based on its chemical properties. Targets senescent cells in general for the most part. Now, they operate on very similar pathways, but it tends to be more bioavailable. Again, you can get this in your diet. You don't need supplements if you change your diet. Like strawberries are a huge source of fisetin. Unfortunately, you got to eat 37 of them to get a daily dose. So the idea of taking a supplementing a diet change with a supplement of fisetin might not be a terrible idea. So I want you to consider that when you're considering below adding a supplement, adding a senolytic supplement to your diet, such as Senolytic Activator from Life Extension. It's not just a supplement by itself. Make changes in your diet. But if you're like me, sometimes I don't eat my fruits and veggies the way that I should. And having a supplement really helps the situation, particularly as it pertains to senolytic compounds. So, and I also want to bring this up. If you're somebody who's considering a regenerative type of therapy in the future, it's also a good idea to look into some senolytics to clear those senescent cells before you invest the money in getting that therapy. And among all things, consult your physician about all this stuff. If you've got multiple conditions, multiple pathologies going on in your body, talk to your physician. Make sure they're on board with this, and make sure they are okay with you moving forward with this type of therapy. So, as I mentioned, Senolytic Activator from Life Extension. There's a big blue bottle below. Okay? If you want to give it a try, click that blue bottle. If nothing else, start making changes in your diet and do your own research on senolytics and how they might be able to help you. And then I'm going to ask you for a couple more things before you leave me, okay? Check out our Facebook and our YouTube pages and follow us there. There's a ton of information that is posted, that's going to be posted moving forward, that I think will be of some value to you. Also, sign up for our mailing list. We will send you emails. We're not going to spam you. But every now and then, every month or so, we'll send you an update on what's going on with our company, as well as some interesting information on some cellular nutrition news that may have been made during that week, or new scientific studies that may have emerged. And we just want to share those with you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I certainly appreciate it. Everyone at Meridian Biosolutions appreciates it. Stay regenerative, my friends. We'll talk soon.